What is up, everybody? We are back here with Bachelor Nation's semi-finalist, Justin Glaze. Oh my God, the facial expressions are already starting. I'm so excited that you're
We're
here.
getting right into it. I'm so happy to be here. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, I mean, I keep on running into you, as we were just saying, on the street, because you're always walking around West Hollywood and Hollywood. So it's not really that big of a coincidence that I keep driving by.
I know. Well, honestly, all right, so let's be clear. I'm not in the streets like that. I'm just, I didn't bring my car to to LA, so I'm just here for a couple months for now. But I think I am going to make LA my permanent home. So I've been like walking around, kind of wandering around, trying to get the lay of the land. And we run into each other twice now, I guess.
Well,
So I met your mom through a car window.
I know.
Well,
Twice that you know of, because there was one other time which I told you that I was driving and I saw you were getting Chick-fil-A, and
sounds about right.
So we probably live like 10 minutes. So we probably live really close to each other, but we don't need to give our addresses out while we're here.
No. We'll discuss offline. I don't know why we haven't hung out yet, to be honest.
Well, I mean,
ever since we hit it off at Coachella, I'm waiting for the invite.
Well, I didn't know if we had beef or not. I didn't know if we had beef or not.
Well, I didn't know before we met either. So
see, I never know if I have beef with people. Like, genuinely, I never freaking know if anyone, like, I just never know. But when we did run into each other at Coachella, I liked you like way more than I thought I would. Not that I thought I wouldn't like you, but I didn't realize that you were like just really like cool and like, normal. I don't know.
I appreciate it. Yeah, no, honestly, I wasn't sure either, with
just like our personalities. I didn't know if we would mesh. Just the personalities. I don't care about what I do. Exactly. That doesn't matter.
Yeah, no, but even I guess I didn't know you, on a personal level, so I just kind of was just like, I don't know if he likes me or not, like, because I knew that up until that point, all that you had seen to me was obviously through a screen and maybe through talking to people or whatever. So I wasn't sure, kind of what opinion you had, and I was like, maybe if he meets me, he'll say I'm different, or see. I mean, I don't know, but yeah, we definitely hit it off, so it was good to finally meet.
For sure. Well, I think I was a little iffy about you because of the Stagecoach drama from last year. Not that I really care that much, but you got into it with my friend Kira at Stagecoach on Twitter. So, and you didn't remember her. So I just was like, okay.
It wasn't like that.
So what was it like? What was it like?
I definitely, could have handled that differently. I think with that situation, I just got a little frustrated because I knew what had happened at Stagecoach, and I had remembered running into Kira like once, like at the actual festival, but outside of that, I didn't, like, she wasn't really around too much, and so it was one of those things where I had heard rumblings from people that were in the same house with us after the Paradise aired.
Yeah.
And I kind of got upset, by how she was like, oh, like, I saw everything. It was I was like, whoa, you weren't even around. Like, I ran into you once. You weren't around. I was being completely honest about everything that happened between, me and Sally at Stagecoach. So I was just like, all right, like, it just felt like intentionally trying to stir up stuff. And so I talked to people in the house, like, guys, like, was she even around? And they're like, no, we don't, like, she wasn't around that much. I don't know what she's talking about. And so one person that was at the house was like, she even came up to me and was like, when I go to Paradise this year, I can't wait to just be a tornado and stir stuff up. So I was like, that coupled with me not recalling her being around me, I was just like,
she did that.
Come on, like, so that it just kind of rubbed me the wrong way.
Yeah. I don't want to put you on the spot right away. Like, we just got here. We have a few minutes.
Let me settle in.
Yeah, sorry. I actually wrote like a little, like, not like a script, but just like questions. And I kind of felt like we should go like backwards. So we like start from like everything that's going on now, and then we can like get down to it. But I did meet you at Coachella. So was that your first time going to Coachella? And do you think it's better than Stagecoach? Because you went to both, but you didn't go to Stagecoach this year.
I did not. Yeah. Honestly, my experience at each was way different because Stagecoach, I went to the actual festival. So I was, in there with the music and everything. And I didn't really do any of the outside activities, parties, events, anything like that. And it was just the opposite this year for Coachella. I didn't go into the festival at all. I just wasn't too gung-ho about the lineup, and I only did the events and parties outside of it. So it was totally different. And honestly, like, I think I did each the right way because I enjoyed the vibe of Stagecoach being in there, which is like, it was a lot more of a chill vibe with that type of music. And then Coachella, I don't know if I would have like been down for just the massive crowds and everything, but the parties were really fun. So I had a good time at each, honestly. Yeah.
You could feel so claustrophobic in Coachella or Stagecoach because it's so hot and there's so many people. And
Yeah.
like, I didn't go to the festival either. I went for a couple hours and then I left, but I just didn't want to feel trapped because the amount of people.
Yeah.
But Stagecoach is way more low key. I just went this weekend and there wasn't
Oh,
any traffic or anything.
yeah, no, it's so chill. It's just like good vibes. It is dusty as hell though. I don't know if it was this year, but I was like, my club was like just covered in dust. I was like
Mhm.
cleaning dirt out of crevices of my body for like the next
Mhm.
weeks
You
to
had dirt
come.
and
So
sand in places
I
that
had
you've
dirt and
never
sand
had
in
before.
places that I never thought could attract dirt and sand, correct?
What's hotter, the desert at Stagecoach or Coachella or Bachelor in Paradise?
Bachelor in Paradise, not even a question, not even close. You may get an occasional breeze, and the temperature drops drastically at
Hmm.
night in the desert. In Paradise, it is like muggy, humid, nonstop. Like I always tell people when they ask, obviously there's no like you bring your own air conditioning if you want. So I had like a little personal fan. It was like the type of humidity where even after a long day on the beach, like one of my favorite things is being on the beach and then taking a shower and you just feel so fresh and like
Yeah.
sun kissed and everything, right? In Paradise, after you are done for the day and the guys and the girls separate before they come back for like cocktail whatever at night, you
Hmm.
get a shower and you're trying to get all fresh and clean or whatever, and as soon as you step out of the shower, because you're basically outside the whole time, there's no like doors, windows, nothing, right?
Yeah.
You immediately are just drenched in a layer of sweat again, so it feels like you never even really showered. So like not once did I ever feel like completely clean in Paradise, which is like not really my vibe. But yeah, so
Yeah,
i'd
it's
say
horrible.
i'd say
It's like, how do
yeah.
you,
I'd say
but I'm like, I barely could survive. Last weekend at Stagecoach, I was like, water, shade, weed,
yeah,
give me something. But so
yeah.
how do you do that? How do you do that at Paradise though, when you have to like film? Like, do you feel like you're gonna pass out like literally all the time for the whole time you're there?
So they're really good about keeping water on site, and it's so fun. Like they'll have these coolers with bottles of water, but
Hmm.
some of the like they have handlers that are like hawks. So like if you grab a bottle of water and you try to like it's like no, get a cup. Like nothing can be in a bottle, but they're really good about making sure you stay hydrated or at least giving you the option to. But there's like coolers everywhere with water. So I never really felt like too dehydrated. I was pretty good about balancing water, and I know I didn't really drink too much while I was there just because conscientious of like being on camera and stuff. But
Yeah, yeah, that's fair.
you definitely,
I would be nervous about that too, because like when I get drunk,
yeah,
like it's whatever. Like I'm just here, fuck
yeah,
it. But like if you're on camera, like
exactly.
you do have to like think about that. Like there's a lot of
Yeah,
people
yeah,
watching.
yeah. It was tough though, days where I was trying to take a nap. Like if somebody's on a date or something like that, trying to take a nap in that heat was like damn near impossible. So that kind of sucked. But
Mhm.
yeah, it was tough for sure.
Yeah.
And I had
Well,
heard it's one thing like you hear about it from past people. They're like, oh, it's like, but like to be there in it, it's like
yeah.
tough.
The reason I just keep bringing this up is because I just got back from Stagecoach, so I'm still traumatized. It's been like 2, 3 days.
Oh
I'm
yeah.
genuinely
Yeah.
traumatized. But you left Coachella early because you went to the Love is Blind watch party. What was that like? Like I was so jealous.
Did
I feel like I could have gone too, but I didn't want to leave Coachella. But like, so did you contemplate not leaving Coachella because it's so fun to go to
uh,
this?
I was done by that time anyway. I'm
Okay.
like 2 days, and I was like Sunday. I just wanted to be back in LA, and plus like beat traffic and everything. Obviously, I couldn't miss it for the world with my cousin,
Yeah, that's
so
fair.
it was a very easy decision.
What was it like?
So yeah, no, it was honestly it was great being there. I'm sure it was very frustrating watching at home because like the massive delay, but it was so cool. There was maybe 4 or 5 of us from Bachelor Nation there, and then everyone else was, Netflix from, Too Hot to Handle, Love is Blind, past
Yeah.
seasons, and a couple other shows. And it was really cool to just kind of be in the same room as everyone. And it was like very low key and just like, you run into people that you've met before, meet new people. They had drinks, some little hors d'oeuvres. So it was like honestly, like the time flew by for the delay, so we didn't really pick up on it too
Yeah.
too much. But it was really cool. And then it was weird though, like having it because it was shown on like this massive screen. And so then when my cousin comes on, everyone's like turning around to like see how I react, and I'm just like locked in because it's like my family. You know
There's
what I
a
mean?
lot
I'm
of
like,
pressure. There's a lot of pressure because of your
yeah.
reputation with facial expressions.
Right.
That
And I'm
too.
like, guys, I'm not gonna just like manufacture an expression. Like, I don't know what I
Yeah.
mean? And then like during the reading, he's got the expressions going on. So I'm like, well, I guess it runs in the family.
It
So
does.
it was really cool to see it live.
So what were you doing for the 2 hours that it was? You were just like drinking and hanging out. How long was it until they
Drinking.
started? So you're drunk by the time it
Honestly, it
starts.
it was oh my God, yeah. That champagne was kicking my ass. It was probably like a good hour and a half. I'd say,
It's
or
not too
more.
bad.
Yeah, it wasn't too bad, and they didn't have. It was like little finger food at the time, so everyone's just like slamming drinks.
Hmm.
And then by the time like the finale come or the reunion comes on, we're all drunk and just like, which made it even more fun to watch. And then there was an after party after that, so the whole cast, after they finished filming it, they came to the venue, which was awesome. So they had DJ and music playing, everyone's dancing, chit chatting, having a good time. And then like you just like you're like I am drunk as shit. And then it was so clutch. I don't know who it was, but they had people randomly coming around with In-N-Out burgers. So everyone's just like
That's
grabbing
amazing.
In-N-Out and just like, yes, need like there's nothing better than when you're drunk and you need food and then it just like comes out of nowhere, like heaven sent. It was I'm not a huge fan of In-N-Out, but it was like the best burger in that moment that I could have ever had.
Wait, do you like Shake Shack because you're from Baltimore?
Oh yeah,
That's
absolutely.
is that your burger of choice?
I'm a big Five Guys. I like Five
Oh,
Guys
the
as well.
fries.
Do they have that out here?
Yeah, but not as much.
Okay, yeah, Five Guys and Shake Shack are fire to me. There's a big
Yeah.
debate between Shake Shack and In-N-Out, but I'm
I
gonna
think
side with
Shake
Shake
Shack
Shack.
is better. Shake Shack's better. I'm from New York.
Oh, okay, perfect. Yeah, okay. So wait, tell me how do you feel about the In-N-Out fries?
They're not as good, but it's fine.
Thank you. They are not. They taste like Yu-Gi-Oh cards.
But they're
They
good with
literally
the
are. They're
cheese.
flavorless.
Yu-Gi-Oh cards. I haven't heard that in years.
Like it's just
I know what it
it tastes
is.
like cardboard.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
it's
I
just like
played
they're
Yu-Gi-Oh.
flavorless.
I did you like Yu-Gi-Oh or
Yeah, 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 yeah.
Pokemon?
Pokemon.
Oh, I would choose
Pokemon guy.
Yu-Gi-Oh. I would
Yeah.
choose
Oh yeah, I used to
Yu-Gi-Oh.
wake up like first thing in the morning, go down in the basement and watch with my brother. Yeah, we were Pokemon guys. But
Oh,
no, you talking about like the monster style? How they do it with the
yeah,
isn't that like Thousand Island though?
yeah. The fries could be better, but
Ish.
fries
Yeah.
are fries. Like I would never turn down fries.
Yeah, no, at the end of the day, I'm gonna drink it. So yeah.
You're gonna eat
I
it.
mean eat it. Sorry, I'm like
Yeah,
cracking
take a
this and
drink, take a drink.
talking at the
Um,
same time. Yeah.
yeah, yeah, you're a little bit more new to LA than I am. I've been here almost 4 years, so I might have a little bit more culture, but I've gone to Baltimore a couple times because I've had friends that went
Have
to
you?
Loyola.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah.
So I've
Okay,
been
so
down
what are your
there.
thoughts on my city? What are your thoughts on my city? You can be honest.
It's a little dangerous at some parts.
Sorry.
Um,
You know what's so
it's
funny?
pretty.
Thank you,
What?
thank you. It's a cute little quaint city, right?
Yeah,
So I had so obviously I'm friends with like Greg, Andrew, Mike, and all them, right? So I've been to
yeah.
all their cities, and for the longest time I had been trying to get them to come to Baltimore, and they wouldn't. And then the one weekend I got them to come down, I had this whole itinerary set up,
Hmm.
and we had beautiful weather all October, and then they come downpour all weekend. So they're like, I'm never coming to Baltimore. Yeah. And me and Susie have fake beef about Baltimore because she came as well. And I've got receipts where she loved Baltimore.
Still
She's
them.
like, it's such a cute city, yada, yada, yada. And then she sent me this TikTok of this guy like slandering Baltimore, showing all like the dirtiest places. And now she's like on a rampage. Like, we've got beefs because she's acting brand new like she doesn't like Baltimore. So my
Okay,
city gets a lot of hate, but it's a good place.
I'm gonna have to pass that along to her. Maybe
Yeah.
clip this clip and send it to her and let her know that
Yeah,
she's
but
causing drama with everybody. Like this is why
she
she wasn't
is.
the Bachelorette.
Correct. I don't know why she wonders why she was over it. We all hung out this weekend.
Hmm.
Her, Rodney, myself, and Nate, and she wonders why she didn't get picked, and this could be why. So please send it to her.
Something to think about, Susie, and I'm sure we'll bring her up when we get to Bachelor Nation in a few. But I did want to finish with Love Is Blind. So
Okay.
Marshall is your first cousin. Like, what's the relationship?
He is, yeah. Our dads are brothers, so we
Okay.
grew up super, super close, like almost like brothers. It's sad actually. So pre-COVID, we both lived relatively close to each other, and we would all meet at my other cousin's house every single Sunday as like a collective family,
Hmm.
and like watch football, like cook. It was like a whole day, like cook out on the grill, watch football every Sunday growing up, and then once COVID hit, everyone kind of moved and went their separate ways, so we don't get to he's obviously in Seattle now, so we don't get together as much, but yeah, we grew up super close.
Cousins make the best friends ever. My cousin Kelly is like
Best.
my best friend because it's like you don't have the sibling rivalry or the sibling trauma, but you have to protect each
Yeah,
other. And then when you actually like your cousin, it's like the best relationship.
it's the best. It's like, what do they say? It's like the best friends you don't choose or something like that.
Yeah, you know
Cousins,
it is.
something like that. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
So what was your reaction to him going on Love is Blind? Because obviously you did reality TV first, like a year or two prior. So did you have
Mhm.
any part of him getting on the show? Did you inspire him to go on TV? What advice did you have for him?
Yeah, so I played no part in him getting on the show. I think he said they reached out to him on LinkedIn, which I thought was super odd. I had never heard that. I had heard, obviously Instagram, in-person recruiting, like social media, Hinge, Bumble, whatever. So he told me they reached out to him on LinkedIn, and he didn't really know what the show was at first. And I was like, Marshall, it's one of the biggest Netflix shows
Like
out
the
there.
biggest Netflix
Yeah,
show.
but I'm like, it's not small.
No.
And so, he talked to me pretty early on, in like the very early stage when it was like kind of like the early casting producers, right?
Mhm.
And so he would check in periodically, like, hey, they want to, pass me on to a next round, to a next round. And then once he got the call where he's like, all right, they're starting to ask me to like talk to my job about it, I was like, oh, okay. Like I remember this point in the process for me. I was like, it's getting serious. And so, I kind of just I didn't want to, everyone's experience is different.
Yeah.
But I think he really valued my 2 cents and kind of my perspective in going through something similar. And so I kind of just gave him, everything. I was like, take with a grain of salt. This is kind of, how I was thinking going into it versus, what reality was, how things change. And so mostly centered around kind of like, I knew he was going to conduct himself well, but mostly focused around kind of like, our careers, because, I was working pre and post show, he's working, pre and post show, and just kind of
What does he
handling.
do?
So he's a marketing manager.
Okay. And then
He
what
works
did
in
you do
marketing.
before the show?
So I was in investment sales before the
Okay.
show, and now I'm in financial technology sales. So yeah, I'm still working as well. So he went back to he's back at his job now.
Okay.
So just kind of like talking to him through about like what to expect. I know he's before he went on, I'm like, he's a super lovable guy, right? So I knew how he would be towards whoever chose him, and he chose. But I just kind of like was like, listen, no matter how great you are, there's always going to be people who are going to say something negative. And
Mhm.
he's a bit more sensitive than I am. So I was just trying to like let him know, like, hey, like it's never going to be the case where 100% of people out there like you.
Yeah,
I'm
for
sure
sure.
99.9% will love you, but just be prepared for, any backlash or, rude negative comments. Just start getting some thick skin because, it's
You're
coming.
gonna need
So
it.
just talking to him. Yeah, exactly. So just talking through those sort of things.
I thought he came off really well. Like he was so positive and likable and charming. Like I didn't watch every episode of the
Yeah.
season. I literally just didn't have time. Like that's literally the only reason.
Yeah.
I didn't have the bandwagon because like it's a lot of
Yeah.
TV. But what I
It's a
saw of
lot.
him and like the reaction, like I thought he came off so positive and likable and just like the go. Like I feel like he was the best guy of the season.
Honestly, yeah, I'm biased, obviously, he's my cousin, but
Yeah.
I think he killed it. And it was so much more gratifying to see like all the love that he's getting, because it's literally like how he's been his entire life.
Mhm.
Like we joke around, like he literally, since we were young, like my mom and our aunts, like the nickname for him in our family was Sweet Pea. Like he's literally just like
Mhm.
been such a little sweetheart his entire life. And to see, that kind of come across the screen well and be received well was awesome. Cause I'm like, yep, that's Marshall. Like always cooking, always, treating people well. So
Mhm.
he's a good dude.
Yeah, he deserves all the love. I feel like he was a great
Yeah.
guy. But what was your thoughts on him and Jackie and the whole ring situation? Do you think she should have gave it back and their breakup? Do you have any 2 cents?
Okay, yeah, yeah. So my honest opinion,
Spill it.
like if I take a sip,
Yeah, this is what
my
we
honest
really want to
opinion,
know.
if I were him, I wouldn't have asked for the ring back because I wouldn't have wanted it, because I
Yeah.
would have seen it as a symbol of that relationship. And if I'm moving on, I'm done with that. And I wouldn't expect Jackie to keep it. I think that's weird for her to want to keep it. Like,
Well, does she want to
why do you want
sell
to keep that?
it? She wants to sell it.
That's gotta be the only option, especially since she moved
Mhm.
on to what's his face. It's like,
Josh,
so
what's
yeah.
his face?
So you're gonna move on and then keep the ring between, like, that's weird. No, I would have just if I were him, I would have just been like, would you mind giving the ring back? I guess to produce whoever, up to the network, whoever bought it. I don't think either party should want to keep it.
But do you think he would have sold it?
Honestly,
Made the
knowing
buck?
him, no, I genuinely think like it would have been just like a sentimental reminder of like what he went through. But it's one of those things where it's like, all right, like in the next relationship, if they come along, like I'd probably be like, all right, like get rid of that shit. You know what I mean? Like I
Yeah.
wouldn't want my significant other to hold on to something like that. Any type of symbol from a past relationship, I'd be like, that's gotta go.
Yeah, I
So
agree. I think it should have went back to production because I think it's just grimy to sell something that like you're getting
yeah.
for free. I also have always thought that like Bachelor, Love is Blind, like if you're gonna get engaged on TV, like I don't know. I want my man to propose to me with a ring that he paid for. So I just think
Mm,
that like if you're gonna, even if it's a show and it's free, like I just feel like it's icky.
yeah, no, I feel that. I honestly was surprised that they even get to keep it. One of those
Yeah.
one because I'm pretty sure on
On
in the Bachelor
Bachelor,
franchise, yeah, you have like if you
two
break your engagement within
years.
2 years, you're giving it back. So I was shocked that they just let them keep it.
But I
So that
heard that it was
was
like, but I heard it was only like $3,000, and on Bachelor the rings are way more expensive. But I could be
yeah,
wrong.
which if I was being proposed to, like if I was a woman, like I'd be like, I'm
Yeah.
sorry. Like I'm not
Yeah,
saying
yeah.
I'm like super materialistic, but I'd be like, all right, like
Well, you take the
you're
ring
gonna
from
give
the
me a real ring or
show.
what?
No, take the ring
Yeah.
from the show. It's free. Fine. Repropose off camera a year later. Buy the ring. Sell the ring from the show and put it towards the ring for
Put the
yourself.
money towards that
Mhm.
100%. We're on the same page. That's what
Yeah.
I would do if I were to, if I proposed to somebody. Because I wouldn't feel good about just having, my woman or my partner just having a ring on her finger for the rest of her life that I didn't pay for and it was
Yeah.
low budget. I'd feel
But even
grimy.
like on Bachelor, when they get really nice rings, obviously, but I still would. I mean, I guess it's like the experience you shared together and where you met, but it still is
I
like a
guess,
little
but I would
bit.
still want to feel good about like putting my hard-earned money into that.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Well, I do want to talk about Bachelor, but last Marshall question, since he's the star right now.
Yeah,
He
absolutely.
has a new girlfriend. He just posted. He posted
Uh
her. He posted her. It's on his page.
yeah.
I didn't say
Yeah.
it.
He does. He does. Well, so the reason why I pause is because it's not super brand. I don't know how much I'm supposed to say. It's not like
Uh,
super brand. Like I knew he was like seeing her a little bit. It was kind of back and forth as he alluded to on one of his Instagram stories.
okay,
They kind of took some time apart and now they're back together. So listen, as long as he's happy, I haven't met
for
her
sure.
yet, but I'm sure she's wonderful. And he seems to be happy and in a good place. And honestly, that's all that matters. He deserves it especially after what he went through.
Mhm.
Everyone should move on and um, he's been looking for a relationship since
Oh
before he went
yeah.
on the show,
You don't
and
need to explain
so
yourself
he's.
for him. I was just trying to get the tea.
Oh yeah, no. I mean, he's
I'm
with her.
for
He's
it.
with her.
I'm for it. He deserves to be happy
Yeah,
after what Jackie put him through. Like, come on.
yeah.
Team Marshall. But
Yeah.
I am upset because I did want to see him on another show. And I thought it would have been fun to see both of you on another show together if they can cross paths. Because the Glaze
Yeah,
cousins are kind of hot right now.
there were talks of it.
For
So
sure.
so I don't know. Anything is possible.
For
Anything is
sure.
possible. I guess we'll just wait and see how things shake out. But yeah, that would be fun.
Yeah. Well, did you ever
Would be
think you were going
fun.
to propose on Bachelor in Paradise when you went?
If I'm being completely honest, no, because since day two, I literally felt like didn't have a chance to come up for air. So I literally, I didn't have a chance to even form deep enough of a connection with somebody to even have that thought go through my head. And I'm a, admittedly, I'm a bit of a realist.
Yeah.
So it would have taken me kind of being locked in with someone for a good amount of time and really comfortable to start thinking proposals. And even during my time with Eliza, although we had great moments, it was still like, me and Rodney. So like not one day on that beach was I comfortable and just set and confident in just me and one other person, right? It was always like a triangle and me battling for something,
Mm,
so I never really got to
yeah.
that point.
Oh, I'm so excited you're here. It was great TV. Like you're such a good person to break all this down with. You had a lot of triangles and fun. Do you hear that siren going on right now?
Yeah.
Just
Like
let
what
it
is that?
pass. Well, this is Hollywood, baby. You know.
Mm.
You know.
Oh, don't I know it?
Okay.
They go crazy outside my window.
Yeah, we'll go through these girls quickly. I don't want to make you through it.
Okay.
Plus, we were all exhausted watching you and Genevieve. Like it was the most frustrating thing. It was the most frustrating couple of the season. Like headache. Stop fighting. Why were you guys fighting so much? Like it just was like you're never gonna resolve it, but you couldn't move on from each other. It was just exhausting.
So,
I
how to
know.
unpack this one? That's a lot. Yeah, I mean, there's definitely things I wish could have been handled differently. I think at a certain point we wanted, the same thing, but our communication with each other was just way off. And obviously you only get a glimpse of the conversations,
For
but
sure.
some of our talks would just go in circles for hours on end. And she was doing the best to voice how she felt, and I was doing the same thing. And I think we were just missing the mark on, what I needed and what my intentions were with how I was handling the situation with Victoria and how I was trying to be delicate. And at the same time, she was telling me she needed more affection and validation. And so while I was trying to communicate like why I wasn't giving that to her, I wasn't doing a good enough job of listening, like, hey, like I hear you and like we can get to that point, but this is why I'm, it was just we were
Yeah,
missing
yeah.
the mark on. Yeah.
I mean, I love Genevieve. I've met her like a few times and I love her. But when I watch her on the show, it's just like, it's not, you might not, I'm sorry, but Genevieve is the problem. Like, she is the one that has the drama with everyone. You saw it with Aaron right after. She was fighting with him in circles constantly after. Whose relationship was more toxic, you and Genevieve or Genevieve and Aaron?
Oh, Genevieve and Aaron, without a doubt.
Yeah,
Without a doubt, because the thing about me, and like I said, you only get a glimpse of the conversations, and I was not perfect by any means in handling
yeah,
some of them, but I do not like I'm not one to like confrontation and just like all that. I just want to chill and get along with somebody and laugh and banter and have a good time.
sure.
Like that's me. And we, like I said, we would go in circles for hours, and I would try my best to articulate where I'm coming from, right? Like
Mhm.
the example I gave you, like, hey, I'm not hugging up on you and being overly affectionate and making out with you because I'm still trying to figure out, how to, I don't want to be disrespectful to Victoria or you. And it's an awkward situation. Right. And so I was kind of explaining where I was coming from without listening to like, hey, like I get you need affection and we could get to that point. Like that's how I am in relationships, but we aren't there yet. It's the second day. I didn't do a good enough job of explaining that, but I would try to reason for a little bit and it wasn't landing. And so then I would get
Mhm.
frustrated, like, we've been at this for like an hour. Like it's
Yeah,
literally the second day. Like I'm being made to feel like I'm doing something catastrophically wrong here by saying yes to going, like I didn't even kiss Victoria on the date, like nothing, right?
yeah.
And so it got frustrating at times.
For all of us
Yeah.
watching too.
So yeah, it
It
was
was like every week because
sorry
the
guys.
the
Sorry
show is
guys.
played out so much with the episodes. So like we were dealing with you guys fighting. I mean, for so many episodes, and then she was fighting with Aaron. It was exhausting. But luckily, you were able to make your paradise experience about other girls. Can we talk about Sally for a second? Because I will call her out first. She has flaked on doing my podcast probably five or
No
six times.
way.
Yes, she still wants to do it. So maybe we'll still get her. But she deserves a public call out at this point, and it
You know,
really holds
I,
true. It holds true to her on the show and every show.
I'm gonna call her out too. I'm gonna call her out too. So her middle name, honestly, I don't know if her middle name actually is May or if I just call her Sally Mae sometimes because it's like a Southern thing.
Yeah,
But she did tell me that her family calls her Sally May or may not be there
thank
because
you.
she is known to flake. So it's not just you.
Oh, I know that.
And she knows I would say that to her as well.
Oh yeah, we love Sally.
Yeah,
We love her, but she
yeah,
just
no,
never
she
shows
don't.
up.
She, you never know. She may or
Yeah.
may not be there.
I
That's her brand.
what was your like relationship with her like in Paradise? Do you feel like it could have been more if she stayed?
Oh yeah, it was about 10 minutes to be honest, like in real time, not just TV time. It was like
Record
literally 10
time.
minutes in
Record
real
time.
time. She was in and out. Um, yeah, I mean, like I think people blew it up way more than what it was. And I get it, like Stagecoach, historically in Bachelor Nation, it's like a ton of tea, right? We had met at Stagecoach and exchanged, we had a couple conversations, prior to Paradise, like literally nothing crazy.
Yeah.
And so I really didn't know much about her to that point. And when she came down, I was like, oh, well, like when we met, she was cool.
Hmm.
So let's see. But again, that was very short lived. So
Yeah. Well, I was the one
yeah.
reporting on Stagecoach last year, and I was the one that made a TikTok about you guys. It's my
Oh, really?
fault.
That was you?
It was my fault. Yeah.
Damn. So maybe all right, I gotta go. I gotta get out of
No,
here.
no. Honestly, I used to do more like videos on like spottings and tea, but now I'm like at all the same events. So now I don't do them
Wait,
anymore.
so you weren't at Stagecoach last year? You
No,
just
but there was people telling me things, and I don't ask. Like people used to just tell me things, and then I would
yeah.
just make videos. Oops,
Yeah. No, yeah, no, I mean that's what you're supposed to do,
I guess.
no, literally, it literally, and I again, that's kind of where I got frustrated because I was like, guys, I'm being honest, like we kissed at Stagecoach and that was it. And in
Yeah.
my mind, I'm like, listen, like I have nothing to hide. I at the time was 26, 27 years old.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
3 months prior to Paradise. I didn't know if I was going or not. I'm single. Like I don't owe anybody anything. Like big deal. You know what I mean? It happens in Bachelor Nation all the time.
Mhm.
And I think people just wanted it to be much more of a thing than it
We
was.
want the
But we're
drama.
friends.
Yeah, we want the drama, and that's just what feeds us. It's reality TV. But I can confirm,
Yeah.
Justin's such a cool guy. Like, I feel like you were put in a lot of situations because of the TV show that made it seem like you were more dramatic, or you were just put in dramatic situations that you had to deal with all these girls. Like, it happened.
I was, yeah, and it literally, I was like, I was fighting for my life, Zach. Like it was like blow after blow after blow, and then I like even the Eliza situation. Like, I'm glad you're like, thank you for saying that, because I feel like
Oh,
people
I'm Team
have
Justin.
such
I
a
am
misunderstanding
Team
of like
Justin
how that
here.
actually goes down or how that went down, and it was just like so unfortunate because I'm like, listen, like I am not perfect by any means, and everyone complains about their edit, but I'm just like, guys, like I got the short end of the stick here several times in Paradise,
Yeah.
and it's just like I'm just, it is what it is. I know it's for TV and it makes entertaining TV, whatever. It's more important, for me to like meet people in real life and for them to see how I am. So, I'm glad that we got to meet, and obviously, we'll hang out and build this friendship up. But I'd rather people, I'm more of an under promise over deliver type of guy anyway. So I don't care about the TV stuff. It's like how I am in person is what means more to me.
For sure. And hopefully Sally comes on my podcast soon. I'm waiting for her.
I'll try to put in a word for you.
I'm
I
gonna
haven't talked
just
to her in
keep
a while, but
texting her.
yeah, just blow her phone up. She'll come on eventually.
Yeah.
They got her to come on Paradise, which was it was no easy feat. So I'm sure you can get her on the podcast. I'll
Yeah.
put in a good word.
Yeah, I want to reveal her suitcase because I know what it is. I got the real suitcase picture.
Oh yeah.
She did send me the real suitcase picture. I never posted it, but I have it
I'm
framed
dead.
and virtually.
Do you really?
No, but virtually I have it framed.
That would be iconic if you did.
I honestly will
So
frame it
funny.
one day. When I have a podcast studio one day, I will have her
Oh,
real suitcase.
absolutely. Oh my God. Yes, you
Yes.
have to.
Yeah.
That's
Okay.
too good.
We'll talk so briefly about Eliza because I'm ready to move on. But
Okay.
that was also really
Yeah.
frustrating too. I remember I was like, we had to go all the way to Baltimore with a camera crew to finish this storyline.
Yeah.
Why?
Yeah. No, I mean, where do you want me to start with that?
Just the spark notes of spark notes of spark notes.
Yeah. So I think big picture, and I'm sure I can't say too much, but
Yeah.
I feel like when people, and again, I get it, like it's reality television. A lot of people enjoy sitting down, just watching the show and consuming whatever they're given, right? There's other people that think a little bit more logically, like, okay, like I know it's, a TV show, like there's things that go on, right? And so I had expressed interest in Eliza several times. Even, I talked to Rodney about her, when I was kind of by myself. He was still with Lace at the time. And I was like, man, I'm out of here. Like, I want to go home. And I tried to go home several times. And I was like, the only way I'm staying is if she comes down. Right. And so I stayed and waited,
And how
I
many
was,
days are
hopeful.
you there in the hotel before you come back?
Oh, this is before I even went back to the hotel. So this was like 2 days
Um,
before that last rose ceremony when I got sent home. And so then she obviously never came down. I go back to the hotel, and I thought I was just going to be there for a day or two because I was under the impression that she was going to come back. I had no idea the whole switch week thing happened. So I was in the hotel for like 6 days, I want to say, going crazy, like absolutely crazy. And so then they send me back in, and I'm given a date card, and I was under the impression that she had just gotten there, right? And so I go down, and I like I said, I thought she had just gotten there.
you didn't
And
know
then
about
like,
her and Rodney.
had no
Yeah.
clue, because when I left the beach, he was with Lace. I had no clue switch week happened, right?
Yeah.
So I go down there and I see them standing next to each other, and I'm like, what in the world is going on? And I felt so bad, even after the fact, like watch, because I had no clue the strength of their relationship, and I see why everyone was so upset. Like I was walking in blindly. I had no clue. And it was honestly like uncomfortable the entire time, because me and Rodney are friends, and we had conversations. You're like, hey, listen, we know what's going on. Like, this is tough. This sucks. So even like in the midst of me trying to pursue her as he was, it never really felt
Organic.
I never really felt
didn't feel
myself,
right.
because
It didn't feel
it
right.
didn't feel right. Cause I'm like, I'm trying to like be my full self, but in the back of my head, I'm like, this sucks.
You don't want to do that to your friend, and you guys have a real
No.
friendship like outside of the show.
Yeah. Yeah. And so like, I just wish, man, like I just wish, because Paradise, like on paper, like that format is such my style. Like I'm such a quality time type of person, where it's like in theory, like if you lock up with somebody, you have so much time to just like do your own thing and get to know each other. And I'm like, I was like drooling at the prospect of being able to just like find somebody, couple up, and like goof around, have serious conversations, like just be me for like a summer, you know?
You got the indecisive Eliza, the flaky Sally, and the dramatic Genevieve.
Right. The opposite of what I was hoping for. So I'm like, damn, like my experience could have been so different.
But we love
But
them all.
you know,
We still no
it is
hard
what it
feelings.
is. No, it's all good.
So
Everyone's great. Yeah.
if you don't answer this question, I will. F, Mary, kill Sally, Genevieve, and Eliza. Are you pleading the fifth?
Mm,
I'll answer it if you don't want to.
damn.
Just a game. It's
All
just a
right. How would
game.
you? I'm curious how you would answer it.
Oh, that's so hard. I actually love all of them, but the flaky, indecisive, and dramatic. Um, I would marry Sally. I feel like I would get along with her the most as far as like long
Mm-hmm.
term.
Yeah.
Then I mean I'm so gay, but I would bang Genevieve because we are friends. I have met her, so I can't kill her. And then
Yeah.
I've never met Eliza,
Okay.
so I would kill Eliza.
So she's got to go. Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
Shayam.
That's solid. Yeah. I mean, listen, they're all they're all good people at their core.
For
They're
sure.
all great in their own rights. It's just sometimes you just aren't compatible with somebody, and that's fine. My biggest thing is just like I'm all about like incompatibility does not have to equal animosity, and it was just like it just felt like any incompatibility ended up turning into animosity, which
Hmm.
I just hate. But
Do you think you're gonna go back? No.
to where
To Paradise?
I think I'm hanging the trunks up, Zach.
That's fair.
It would
I
say it would take something or someone special to pull me back into it. Just because I am very frustrated with how it sucked how things went down. Just having such high hopes and kind of prepping yourself for the best case scenario, and then having it go kind of the complete. Even when I got home, I was like, yeah, like that sucked, but I didn't think it was going to be aired the way that it aired. So I kind of
Mhm.
felt some type of way. So it would really somebody like really special that I was really interested in would have to be there, or it's like I'd have to go in with backup. Like I'm coming down with like a double date with Rodney. Like we're bringing this full circle and making it right. You
Mhm.
know what I mean?
Yeah. Well, I
So
mean, I love all your friends. I feel like Rodney, Andrew, Nate, you guys are all awesome. Or do you think any of your friends would go back, or would you recommend them go back? Because filming starts next month.
yeah. Honestly, I don't think anybody is.
Okay.
I don't think anybody is really too interested in going. A
Fair enough.
few have like dabbled, but I think everyone like I don't want to speak for them, but
Hmm.
some of that like based on past experiences, they're just like I don't want
It's
to put
time to
myself
move
through that
on. Like
again.
you did that chapter, and
Yeah,
now on to the next generation.
yeah, right, exactly.
Did you watch
Yeah,
Zach's season of The Bachelor?
I did. I did. I didn't catch every episode, but I
Mhm.
tuned in every now and then. So yeah, I watched a little bit of it.
Do you have any thoughts on him saying he's not going to sleep with anybody and then sleeps with one of them? Happens to the best of us.
I Yeah, I mean, here's the thing. Like, and again, I say this like knowing, it's so easy because now I'm a viewer, right? So it's so easy
Mhm.
to point the finger and be like, oh, I would have done this or you could have done that better. Like in the moment, he seems like a good enough guy. Like in the moment, I'm sure he had all the best intentions. It was trying to do things the right way. But I think it was too over calculated. Like I think he was trying, like by doing that, one, I don't think it was wise to make that decision. I think Ariel alluded to this. Like, I don't think it was wise to make that decision on behalf of someone. Like, that should be a conversation with your partner. And I also think he, again, I don't want to speak from, I don't
For
know,
sure,
purely
for sure.
speculation. It seemed like maybe he was like, okay, last Bachelor, Clayton may not have handled this
Yeah.
week in the best way. So like, I'm going to overcompensate and do just the opposite. And I'm going to be this good guy that says no sex. Right. And I like it
Mhm.
came to bite him in the ass, I think.
It
So I
did.
think he was just like a little too calculated.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's hard not to. And I thought the same thing when I was watching. I was like, he's trying to not create a rose ceremony from hell where he tells everybody he's trying to figure it
Yeah.
out. But I mean, it worked out for him. He's engaged now. So
Yeah. I mean, that week, I wouldn't know. I've never been in that position, but that week, that's got to be tough, man. Like, I really feel like it's hard to come out unscathed any way you look at it because it's like you hook up with more than one person. Somebody's going to be upset either way, right?
mhm.
Like, I don't really know how I don't think there's a perfect way. There's no rule book or silver bullet of how to handle that week.
Mhm.
I think you just got to do the best you can do, but yeah, it worked out. Like you said, it worked out from the in
Yeah,
the end.
yeah,
So
for sure. Absolutely. Um, What was I gonna say? Oh yeah, who do you think who's like your top three from Zach season? Let's just say in a hypothetical world, who do you from if you went to Paradise, like who would be your top three, or who are just three girls that you liked that you thought were cool?
Like personality wise?
Yeah, personality wise.
Oh, so honestly, I think it's like classic franchise. Like I've seen some of their personalities more so on social media post
Hmm.
show than like on the show. Um, so I think there's a couple that come to mind that have all been hanging out together that seem really fun. I mean Katie seems dope, the one who
Hmm.
won.
Yeah,
She seems dope. Who else is there?
I like Ariel and I like Jess.
Oh, Ariel, Jess, Kat. I think Kat
Hmm.
seems cool.
And
Um,
Christina Mandrell, I love her.
yeah, she seems fun.
I saw
Yeah,
her
I'd
at
say.
Stagecoach.
Oh, she would be there. She would be
She
there.
was, oh,
Yeah,
that's like her
was she
element.
all cowgirled out?
She was, and she was hanging
Yeah.
out with somebody from Netflix, but I won't say who.
Ooh, spill the tea. Spill the tea.
Maybe
I don't
later.
know why I could see her with. This is so random. Oh my God. Wait, if I guess, will you tell me?
Yeah.
Okay. This guy just popped in my head, and I don't know why. Was it Cole?
No, it wasn't Cole.
Okay. Okay. Gotcha.
We're not gonna
It
do a
was a good
repeat
guess.
of we're not doing a repeat of last year. So when
What
I
happened?
when I spilled the tea on you and Sally, we've
Oh,
evolved.
so I'm the example, and then the next
Mhm.
person in line gets off easy. I love that for me. I
Yeah,
love
I've
that.
grown, I've evolved. I want people to come on my podcast. I want to be
I
invited
came.
places. Yeah, true. But it's been a
You
year.
probably. I got to go back in the archives. You probably, haven't said,
I don't
best.
know. I'm always
I don't. I
honest.
really don't know.
I'm always
We love
opinionated.
honesty. We love an honest king.
I just cringe at all my old
So
videos. Like even from a year ago, I'm like, ew, why did I do that? Why did
but
I
it's
say
the
that?
growth. It's the
Yeah, it's the
growth.
growth.
It's the growth.
Yeah.
It's the climb. Yeah,
Kind. Well, I
it's a
did love
journey.
I loved Marshall's apology when his old tweets got resurfaced because I really did feel like it was so genuine when he was like, I could have deleted them. It happened to my cousin, but it's the growth. Like we are, a lot older and we make mistakes when
Yeah,
we're teenagers.
I had a word with him about that one. I said, "Listen, brother, leave me out of this."
Yeah, for sure. He kept you
I'm
into
like,
it.
hey.
Yeah, yeah. But
Yeah, nah. I mean, he's a genuine. Yeah, he's a genuine guy, and again, everything he does is with good intention. Um, so that's all you're gonna get is like honesty and genuineness, if that's a word from
Yeah,
him.
yeah,
So
for sure. Let's switch the
yeah,
topic immediately. Greg and Victoria,
let's
what
do
are
it.
your thoughts?
Ooh.
That needs a drink. I actually love them. I was rooting for them.
Yeah, I mean, obviously they've got my full support. Greg's my boy. Selfishly, we miss him. We
Yeah.
miss him, but that's what happens when, you get older, you get into relationships. And it's not like he's got, Andrew and I's full support
Mhm.
through and through. And it's one of those things where it's just like people are like, oh, like, what are they gonna do without Greg? Like, it's like, no, like
I
our
that was me.
goal,
That was literally me.
our goal is to literally like get to that level where we all are in a committed relationship and we can all hang out together and like all just kind of move forward in our lives. So yeah, that's kind of what we're trying to get to, but they're doing well. That boy is racking up some air miles, going back
Mhm.
and forth between. He's pretty much living in Nashville now with Victoria, but for a while I was like a lot of back and forth. But yeah, he's got a birthday coming up. He's turning 30.
Yeah.
So he's getting up there. I
How old are
turned
you?
my birthday's right. So I turned his birthday is the 4th, I want to say. And mine is the 13th of June. So I'm turning 29, which is such a weird age. It's like, who cares? You know what I mean? It's like,
That's
just give
a
me a
good
30.
age. I like 29.
29, it's like, who cares about a 29-year-old? It's
Yeah.
like, you're basically 30 without, you know what I mean? I don't know.
I'm turning
How old are
20.
you?
I'm 25, but I'm turning 26 in June. And I feel like it's like
Okay.
now I'm like, oh, I have no more excuses.
Yeah, you're about to be off the insurance. You got to get your own
I
insurance.
know.
You're,
I'm struggling. I had to pay my
Woo!
taxes this year and I was like, fuck.
Yeah. Wait, June what?
24th, so I'm a Cancer.
What's the cutoff?
The 21st.
Ooh,
I don't want to be a
okay.
Gemini. Why do you think about people hating on Gemini?
Listen, I could pull up my full chart right now because I'm not your ordinary Gemini.
What makes
Okay,
you different?
I'm different. I like, yes, there is a bit of, I guess, the dual personality, in a sense where like, and honestly, this gets me into, I don't want to say trouble in relationships, but I can be a very complex person at times, and I'm very aware of that. So let me, like, an
Mm-hmm.
example, right? Like, my dual personality isn't like I'm nice one minute, then just like a bitch the next or crazy, right? Like,
Yeah,
I'm
that's
more
me.
so like I'm an introverted extrovert, and I know a lot of people say that, but like
Yeah.
I can be very social one minute and like talkative, and then there's other minutes where I'm just kind of like keeping to myself, thinking about something, like totally fine, right? But
Yeah.
I have like a really bad like resting bitch face, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
So people that I've dated have been like, are you mad right now? And I'm like, no, what are you talking about? And it's like, you seem mad. I'm like, I'm not mad. Like, I promise I'm good. You know what I mean? It's just like, and
Mm-hmm.
so I go through those kind of like, I guess, mood swings, like, but they're not even mood swings. I'm just like upbeat one minute and chilling the next. And so
Mm-hmm.
like it takes a special person to like understand like that I can be like that. But other than that, like I like Gemini, like I'm very attentive. I'm a great listener. I'm very thoughtful. I think my rising is Taurus,
Are you pulling it
I
up?
want to say. Yeah, I'm pulling it up right
Okay,
now.
pull it
Like,
up.
are you good with this stuff?
Yeah, yeah. My
Okay.
sun sign is Cancer, rising is Leo, and then moon is Aquarius.
Okay,
So
here we go. You
I'm
ready?
complicated too. Yeah,
Yeah,
go.
so you get me. All right. So
I get it.
my rising is Taurus, sun Gemini, moon is Leo,
Oh,
and then what am I missing?
Venus, but I don't
Is
think you
it?
need that.
Yeah, that's like the most important ones,
Unless
right?
someone, but what if someone really needs to know? What would your Venus be?
Okay, so Mercury and Venus are in Cancer.
Oh, okay, that's great.
Jupiter, Pluto, and Scorpio. Neptune, Uranus, and Capricorn. Saturn is in Pisces, and Mars is in Taurus.
Okay,
So
very complicated.
I'm not your average Gemini.
Well, I'm the same, which is I live alone because I need to recharge. I need to be by myself so I can be that social outgoing butterfly that people expect me to be.
Yes,
So you live with Andrew right
yes.
now, and were you living alone in Baltimore?
Yeah, so I'm living with Andrew right now. We just did like a short 2 month type of thing. And then I'm literally a part. So I was torn between the reason why we did a temporary thing. Obviously I'm in Baltimore, he's Chicago. And so I was torn between moving to Manhattan or LA.
Mm-hmm.
And so I'm in New York all the time. So I kind of already have a feel for what that vibe would be if I lived there. But anytime I'm in LA, it's just for like a quick weekend. So I was like, let me kind of get immersed in there and get a feel for what it's actually like to live in LA. And I've come to really like it. So I'm literally apartment hunting
Oh,
as we
cool.
speak. But I'm gonna live for the same reason. I'm gonna live by myself. Like, I need my own space. And like, I'm so big on like decor. And I just
Yeah.
like, I love like furniture shopping and like making my space my own, and like, just making it my vibe and feel homey. A big aesthetic guy. So I just need my own space.
Well,
So
maybe you and Andrew could live in the same building, so it's just like you have him, but you have your own space.
yeah, no, it is nice being that close. I'm living with him. Nate and Rodney are literally like a 3 minute walk from us,
Oh,
which
that's
is
amazing.
awesome.
You're probably
Yeah.
having the best
Um,
time, like in
it's
LA with
so
all your
fun.
friends.
Yeah,
It's
because we could
great.
literally call him up like, hey, you want to come over and watch the game tonight? Like, want to hang
Yeah,
out?
that's great.
So it's been awesome. But I think Andrew's going back to Chicago. I don't think he's gonna stay, which is sad. Or I'm trying to convince him otherwise, but I don't know.
Yeah, well, he can always visit. You can always visit. So, what are you doing for like work? What's your like career goals here in LA? What's like the future looking like?
Yeah, so I work remotely. My company's based out of New York. I'm in financial technology sales. Yeah, I've always been very like career oriented, and I know a lot of people like, it's so funny whenever we post like TikToks or like stories. People are like, oh, these people don't even work. They never work. They
Mhm.
just quit their jobs and blah 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 blah. I'm like, first of all, it's a Saturday. I'm having fun.
I
Like,
love
do
that.
you really want the content of me like sitting at my laptop? Like, you know what I
Well, I think
mean?
you could make funny videos
Oh,
working
people,
too.
I've thought about
You
it,
do
but I
it.
was like, people would be so mad at
Who
that. Like the
cares?
Redditors would be
Let them
like,
be
huh,
mad.
look at
Don't
him.
read it. I
You know
think
what
you're
I mean?
you're
But
so
it's
funny
like,
on you're so funny on TikTok. You're good at making content.
thank you. I appreciate it. Yeah, but I'm
More,
like,
please.
guys, I work. You know. So yeah, I've got a couple like personal projects in the works right now, some passion projects, if you will. But for the time being, I've got my corporate job.
Some
I love
influencer
having that
deals.
structured part of my, yeah, doing the influencer thing. I hate that word,
Hey,
honestly. But doing the social media stuff, I guess. Having fun with it. So, it can be tough to juggle both. So I don't think a lot of people realize like the amount of work that goes into the content creation side of things.
hmm
But it can
I
be
get
tough
it.
juggling both, but it keeps me busy, and I wouldn't have it any other way. There was a period of time after Paradise, I went back to my other job that I was with before the show, and I was there for a couple of months, and then I was looking to kind of change industries a little bit anyway. So I took about a 6 month period where I was just doing the social media stuff, and it was great. Like I was living my absolute best life, but like I didn't feel as fulfilled. I was like, I'm missing like this structure in my day and like missing having a purpose. It's like, I'm posting this stuff on social media, like making great money, sure, but like it's like the rest of my day, I'm like going to the gym, cooking, and I'm like,
Yeah.
I need to get back to like my routine of like having a purpose. So yeah, I like working, for
Yeah,
lack
yeah,
of
that's
better
great.
words, I guess. Yeah.
For sure.
Yeah.
I love that you're a painter. I told you this. Are you able to make
Yes.
money that way?
Yeah. So 100%. And honestly, I haven't had that much time to work on too many pieces just for myself. My goal is to, over the years, I've accrued a couple of pieces like just for myself because I want to put together like a gallery show eventually. But I've been very fortunate to have some pretty cool commission projects. I don't know if you saw the one with the Ravens that I did. I did like a big
Yeah,
mural
yeah, yeah.
for the Ravens that's in their stadium. So that was really cool. I've been talking to the Green Bay Packers about doing something similar for them, and some other stuff. So yeah, I definitely have been able to monetize off the art, which is amazing. Like anytime you can combine like your passion and make money off of it, it's like sign me up.
No, I'm so here for your art. Like I told you, like
Thank
probably
you.
3 times. Like I think it's so cool. Like painting
Yeah.
is so hard. I can draw, but like not even. Like I used
Or
to
I feel like you're being shy. I feel like you're selling yourself
no.
short. Because you said you used to, and then you went away.
No, do
You
you know what
stopped for a
happened?
while.
So what in this is so embarrassing. In elementary school, I used to draw SpongeBob characters, but I would say that
Me too.
no one's allowed to watch me draw. I would trace them, and then I would lie to my babysitter and be like, "Look what I draw,"
No,
and they believed me, and I had to come clean and cry like after a few
no,
weeks.
you didn't. Honestly, I respect the hustle.
Hmm.
I respect
I was like
how old
8,
you were. How old?
probably
Oh,
like 8. I was a
wise
liar.
beyond his years, mischievous beyond his years.
Oh my God, I was so mischievous
I
as a
love that.
kid. My mom will tell you.
That's so funny. That's so funny. You mentioned SpongeBob. I don't know why I just thought of this. I got like the most. First of all, I don't like people watching me draw. Not because I'm
Yeah,
like
yeah.
tracing something.
I
I just
was
don't like people watching
tracing.
me draw or paint.
Yeah, I was
That's so funny.
tracing.
Somebody asked me, like, I got like a cameo request, and somebody was like, can you like time yourself for 1 minute drawing SpongeBob? And I was like, honestly, yeah, I will. And it was so
Yeah.
awkward, like holding this camera, and, like drawing SpongeBob. But I used to draw Sponge like when I was younger. I would draw like how everyone does like like the little S thing, the
Hmm.
little S chain. I was like doing like something like that, like SpongeBob, like the most random characters. So it's funny you mentioned
Who's
SpongeBob.
your favorite character from SpongeBob? If you were one, which one would it be?
If I was one, ooh,
Or you, Greg, and Andrew? You, Greg, and Andrew.
I,
Who's Patrick,
ooh,
Squidward, and SpongeBob?
okay. Okay. I'm SpongeBob, Andrew's Patrick,
Yeah,
and Greg is Squidward.
absolutely. And then
Yeah.
Victoria can be Sandy,
She can be Sandy, absolutely.
and I'll be
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Plankton.
No, wait, hold on. She's gonna hate me. Victoria's Mr. Krabs.
Mm. How come?
I'm kidding. I'm kidding.
Oh,
I'm
okay,
kidding.
yeah. She could be
Sandy.
Pearl.
I'm
Wait, you
Sandy.
know that I heard this theory that Pearl was Mr. Krabs' sugar baby and she was the sugar daddy, and it was like only adults could know.
No way. There's
Yeah.
so many things in those cartoons that are
Hmm.
like subliminally hidden that
Yes.
like I got to go back and watch them because I've seen TikToks and like heard some stuff. I'm like, yo, I never caught that.
Yeah,
You know
yeah.
what I mean? Like these creators are nasty. They know what they're
Yeah.
doing. Yeah, it's kind
Yeah.
of sick when you think about it.
What was your favorite cartoon like on Disney or Nickelodeon or like a couple that you watched? And then we got to close this out because I could talk to you all day.
Yeah. Oh, cartoon wise, I mean, how far back are we going? Because like
But just like
I'm
anything that comes to mind. I'm not
oh
gonna, whatever.
yeah. I mean, honestly, I did love SpongeBob. That
Yeah.
was one of the, but I was like so more like cartoon wise, probably SpongeBob. But I was like growing up on, I mean, after like the Full House and Saved by the Bell,
Yes.
obviously.
Yes.
I loved like Sweet Life of Zach and Cody,
Me
That's So Raven,
too.
like all those
Oh
shows. Like
yeah.
that was my
Sweet
jam right
Life,
there. Yeah,
the
Sweet
best
Life.
one
Yeah,
of them
yeah. So
all.
I was like an avid. Like I had my morning, like before school, I was watching Saved by the Bell. Right after school, I was watching Full House, and
Mm.
I had my whole like, yeah.
What are you
is the
watching
thing.
these days?
So anyone who knows me knows this is one of my biggest character flaws. I'm really bad at watching shows and movies. Like it takes a
Mhm.
lot. And okay, this is the Gemini in me. It takes a lot to capture my attention and keep it there. Like I need to be like constantly stimulated. Like I get bored pretty easily. So like I'll start a show and then I'm like, I'm over it and move on to something else. So it's hard for me to find a show that I can get super into. Somebody just told me about have you heard about that new show I think it's on Amazon called Jury Duty?
Yeah, I have heard of it.
So like I started an episode of that, but honestly, I like watch sports obviously, but
Yeah.
I
So
don't know, like I'm a
what's
big
your
I'm a
favorite
big
sports
Bravo.
team?
I
Oh, you
watch
like
Summer House.
Bravo?
Yeah. So like I watched Summer House. I heard the Vanderpump thing got leaked a
Vanderpump
little bit.
Rules.
Yeah, I got to catch up on that, but I'm a Summer House guy. I love Summer House.
What? Oh my God, wait, I've been
You watch
dying to
Summer
talk
House?
to. Yes, I just caught up yesterday. I was 7 episodes behind and I binged it over the weekend because I watched like
Okay.
me binging is like 2 episodes a day.
Same,
There's
same. I'm
only so
good.
much
Yeah.
time in the
And then I'm
day.
gonna fall asleep on the third. Yeah.
I don't, yeah, I always fall asleep, pause it, and then wake up in the morning.
Yep.
I don't know how people binge 6 or 7
I
episodes. I'm like,
don't
get a life,
either.
work, do something,
Literally.
eat,
And that's why
shower.
I say I'm bad at shows because I mean Andrew is a show and movie
Yeah,
guru.
he
And
is.
it's just like, how do you like this show has 5 seasons, 16 1-hour episodes per season. Where do you physically find the time in your day to get through this? Like, I
Wait,
can't do
yeah,
it.
yeah.
So I'm
Wait,
so bad at shows.
yes.
I'm like, I love a show that's like like a mini series. I'm like
Hmm.
30-minute episodes. Like, let me get through it. Boom.
Hmm.
Next. Like, I love that.
Yeah, let me ask you like a couple Summer House questions real quick. Is
Okay.
that okay?
Okay. Yes, absolutely.
Is
Please.
Danielle, no, I'm dying to talk about it. I was going to do a podcast on my own and just talk about it because I just
Uh-huh.
caught up. Is Danielle making the engagement all about herself?
I think she's bitter. It comes off as bitter.
What is she bitter
Because
about? The friendship or that her
like
relationship isn't
losing
working?
the yeah, because like even well, I think it could be a combination, right? Because
It is.
even we saw even like when she and Lindsay could have worded it differently, but when they were like, oh, like let's go to Montauk, and like she hasn't wanted to do a lot, and like honestly, like I get it, like that's how friends can be. Sometimes like when they get in a relationship, they're going to
Mhm.
prioritize their significant other, and I feel like as the best friend, she is like taking that personal because it's like everyone, and it's like even with like Greg, like would I love
Yeah.
for him to still spend as much time with us?
Yeah.
Absolutely, but I'm like he's got a girlfriend now. He's of course going to spend more time with her, right?
Mhm.
But I would never put him in a position like, oh, you're like now you can't do this with it because you're with Victoria. And I think she's doing a little bit of that. Like, I'm your best friend. Like, you can still do, and I get it. Like, she could still make time, or like, I don't know, but I think she maybe not as like understanding of like where Lindsay's coming from, and everyone like we've seen Lindsay's character development through the seasons. Like
She's
I'm
so
just like
good.
finally she's got she got a guy, she's locked
Keep
down.
him.
It's all she's wanted for for years. So I'm like,
Mhm.
be happy for her, and especially Carl's. I'm talking way too much about this, but
No, I love it. I
Carl,
love it. I
like,
hope that people love it too. I'm so into it.
so Carl is a unique it's a unique situation, right? Because I think she's actually doing a really good job of catering to his sobriety and all that.
Mhm.
So it's like she's got to give him a little bit more support than like would Lindsay, I'm sure, love for them to all party and drink together, sure, but like that's not his vibe, like that's not his life, right? So as
Mhm.
his partner, like you got to kind of cater to that and support him, and so you can't always make everyone happy, and I think she could do a better job of like understanding that, and I think there's a portion of because like her relationship isn't there, so
I'm so team Lindsay too. Like I know what
yeah.
it's like. Like my best friend Allie, she just got in a relationship and I don't get to see her as much now, right? Like of
Yeah,
course I'm like,
it
hello.
sucks.
But the other girls in the house want to get to know her better. They're like Amanda and Paige, they're like, we're finally getting to see Danielle. It's just like focus on that and stop putting all your energy
Yeah,
into Lindsay and Carl. And it was so frustrating seeing her say to Maya that she wishes that she wishes the engagement was next weekend so that she didn't have to be there. And I'm just like, what kind of friend
petty,
are you? She cannot even
petty,
try to be happy for them. Like,
petty.
I can't wait to see the reunion.
I think and at the end of the day, like I do think Danielle is like a really good friend, and I think
Yeah,
she's like loyal
she's
to a fault,
loyal.
right? And I forget how I forget how she worded it, but she even admittedly said like, again, this isn't how she worded it, but she's like, yeah, basically like I'm always the Robin in the friendship, like I'm never the Batman, and like I'm okay with being kind of like second place in the friendship, and she's always like ride or die for her friends, whatever. I'm like, all right, take a step back, like focus on you. There's other relationships you could be forming. Like, let your girl do her thing, be happy for her. So
Yeah, like her
I'm
whole
team Lindsay on
maybe
this.
it's like the also probably the show makes the storyline more exaggerated, but like
Yeah,
she should be
yeah.
hang out with the other girls in the house. None of them
Yeah.
have storylines either. Like Gabby's just
No.
trying to find love. Like,
Yeah.
can get like I like Gabby, right? She's great, but like, girls, stop judging people on their zodiac sign.
Literally, I was gonna say I'm
Like,
not a
what?
huge fan. It's so the guy that she met, he was there for like an episode, like on the beach, and she literally shut him down. I thought it was a joke. I was like, oh, she's gonna come back and be like, nah, just playing like I had a bet. She was like dead serious. I'm like, you literally shut this guy down because of
Yeah.
his sign?
Yeah.
Like that's insane.
Well,
That's insane.
I relate to her because I'm so picky. I want the love of my life. Like I get it. Like I get where she's coming from, but she's being
Yeah.
ridiculous.
Listen, if that were the case, there's a lot of people out there that wouldn't give me the time of day. Because
Yeah.
I'm sure there's people have had a lot of bad experiences with Geminis, but it's like it's one of those things where like I look at it, it's like, all right, ha ha ha, like, oh, you're a whatever, like, ooh. But it's like I would never seriously like be like, you know what I mean? Like, I don't know.
Yeah, we well maybe Gabby she's got to figure something out. Otherwise, we can't have her back next season if she
Yeah,
doesn't grow.
no.
Who's your favorite couple? Kyle and Amanda, Paige and Craig, or Carl and Lindsay, or Sam and Troy? What's his name? Do you remember his name?
Um. Is it Troy? Is it Troy?
No, I'll look it up. Tell me your favorite
No.
couple.
Honestly, okay. The funniest couple
Corey.
is Corey. I knew someone was it. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay. The funniest couple is Kyle and Amanda, just because Kyle's off his rocker,
Also,
and he just makes me laugh.
I'm tired of seeing his ass. Every episode, his ass is
His
out.
little buns every episode. Yeah,
It's not
that
even a
dude.
nice ass. Like, what the hell?
No, you got the little Trisket cheeks.
Mm-mm.
I'd say they're like I don't know they're the longest standing couple obviously. See, I was a big Paige fan like early on. As the seasons have progressed, I've kind of been off for a little bit.
Why? She's lazy.
Yeah, I think she's very much so like I think she views relationships very much so from like a traditionalist stamp like viewpoint, if that makes sense. Like I think she again, I don't know anything about her,
Of
so these
course,
are
of
all just
course.
like we're just
Yeah,
talking
yeah, yeah.
shit.
We're just talking.
um I think I would imagine that she grew up like fairly privileged and kind of was like, you know, daddy's little angel and kind of like got
Gotcha.
everything. And I think she like kind of views her relationships like cater to me, cater to me, cater to me, cater to me. And you
She's high maintenance.
know,
But
yeah.
I've met her a couple times too, like briefly. I went to BravoCon. I'm from Long
Oh
Island, so
no.
it was random. I saw the whole cast filming like a few years ago and all the cameras. I was
Okay.
like,
Oh
whoa.
no
But
way.
I think she's like so much more down to earth and chill
Oh,
than
is
she comes
she?
across on the show.
Okay. Okay.
That's
Yeah. And
yeah.
I could see that. No, like I think she's cool. That's just kind of like, you know,
She's
it's
high
one thing like
maintenance for her shoe
being
closet. Like she's not going to
yeah.
Charleston. Like Paige, you got to make
Right. And like
sacrifices.
he's trying to make it work. Right. And
Yeah.
she was like, I'm 20, whatever. Like, I want to have fun. Like this. I'm like, all right, well, you're in a relationship. You know, you gotta have those conversations. You gotta be willing to
Hmm.
compromise. And then who's Lindsay and
Carl.
Carl?
Oof.
Man, that's it's I don't know. They're all kind of like I don't
They're
think one stands out
obsessed.
more than the other. Like that's the newest. I don't know. Who's your favorite? What's your favorite relationship?
Paige and Craig, I think, are my favorites.
Well, we don't get to see them as much.
I know I have to watch Southern Charm. I don't watch it, but she was on it
Me
last
either.
season.
Oh, is she?
Yeah,
That would make
but
sense.
I love
But she's never
Sam.
in Charleston, so she couldn't have been in that many episodes.
I know she was only in a few. She was only in a few. I'm going to Charleston next week for the first time, so
No
I'm gonna
way. Okay.
I'm gonna look for Craig. I'm gonna be like, where are you
Well,
at?
you can hit up Sally, track her
Oh
down,
my God, then we could do it in
track her
person.
down. Yeah,
Oh my God. Okay, I'm
yeah.
leaving in like 2 days, people, since I'm putting this podcast out Monday. I think that Sierra is so hot. Can you date her?
I would love to.
Can we set that
I
up?
would love to.
I ship that.
She's my favorite on the show.
Yeah.
I'm just like she's gorgeous,
Mhm.
and I love that. Like, I mean, is she still in it? Have you met? I don't know if she's still doing her nursing. But she seems to like.
I don't think so. I think she's
Yeah,
taking a
I don't
break.
know.
I met her at BravoCon briefly.
Okay. Okay. Yeah, she seems to have like a really good head on her shoulders, but still able to have a good time.
Mhm.
Um, no, she's probably my favorite on there
Okay,
for sure.
I'm gonna put this out there that I'm shipping you guys together. So
Yeah,
I'm
put in a good word for me if you know her.
well, I DM'd her too, and she hasn't answered yet, but I just DM'd her yesterday, so it might take a few
Okay,
days.
she'll get back to you.
She'll get back to me before Sally. I mean, come on.
100,
Sally will never get back to me.
100%. Yeah.
Sally, 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 Sally. Okay, well, thank you so much for coming on. I could talk to you forever, so now we're
Thank
actually
you
gonna
for
have to
having
hang
me.
out.
No, for sure. Yeah,
Okay,
for sure.
where
We
can
can go to
everyone?
Alfred, get a coffee, and
Yes,
we can do the whole
Blackwood,
thing. We can do the whole
Blackwood,
thing.
just not In
Yeah.
and Out.
No, no.
Mm-mm.
What were you gonna ask me?
Where can everyone follow you on TikTok? Everyone follow him on TikTok.
Oh, my what is my
Justin
Justin
Glaze.
underscore well TikTok is Justin underscore Glaze. Yeah,
Yes, he's
that's my
worth
TikTok.
he's worth the follow
Oh my
for
God, thank you
sure.
so
You're
much. You're too
funny.
kind. Stop it. Stop
Yeah,
it.
you're great. And I love that I love straight guys that I can like vibe with. Like they're like my favorite
Yeah.
people because I'm such a diva, but like you're just so
Yeah.
cool. So I'm so glad that we got to
Honestly,
shoot the
I
shit.
love this because I never like I can't have these conversations with Andrew. Like
Yes.
he's watching the game right now. And I'm
I
like,
roll.
none of my guy friends, I can't talk
Mhm.
about this stuff with my guy friends. So I appreciate you.
Thank you.
Anytime. We can talk anytime.
Yeah, well, I'll have you back. We'll do it with Andrew
Yeah,
next time.
100%.
Okay. All right. Well, everyone go follow Justin. I'll leave his links down below. And thank you so much for watching.